how do you came up with this idea of presenting things a digital format which is way more sensitive as compared to when you increase the pocket size, because jewelry is something that people would like to first wear it in their hands.
I came from the family that's in the jewelry business for more than 30 years. We had more than 20 stores, and I have my own store in Milan, in Italy. And I live this exact problem.
Spending a bunch of money on something that is expensive and might be very personal to them, because a ring is not something that people would buy on a daily basis.
There was a problem with adoption from the businesses because jewelry is a closed market and very conservative. So at the initial stage, it was difficult to prove despite businessmen, jewelry retailers. So customers.
All the experience since the beginning of your career, what's the one key thing that kept you going for how you innovate new things?
So the number one was
some industries doesn't resist change loudly. They just move slowly. Our guest grew up inside that silence, stores and showcases, conversions that depend on touch and trust. When the world shifted online, he didn't argue the tradition. He tried to translate it, make confidence visible through a screen, reduce hesitation without removing meaning. What began as a personal fix became a way to shorten distance between curiosity and commitment. Our guest, Yev, the founder and CEO of Arbling, and this conversation is about proving that even the most tactical decision can learn to live digitally.
So I have Yev over here, right? So first of all, Yev, how are you?
Yeah, all good. Thanks a lot. Thanks for inviting me here.
Wonderful. How was your first day?
Yeah, first day went amazing. We met lots of people. Got some interested investors from here. Despite this event, maybe a bit smaller than Lisbon we talked about, but still like pretty interesting. All went good. Thanks.
So as compared to other events and your experience at Web Summit Qatar, what was the pros and cons that you felt you had here?
So here is a bit less concentrated, so it's easier to attach attention from like interested people because less startups are competing for attention from investors. So it's easier. You get connections a bit more quicker than some other maybe bigger events. But from the cons, it's like again less people.
Absolutely, but kind of filtered in a way, right?
Yeah, kind of filters, right? It's the only downside is like not a lot of side events, but everything that's inside is pretty cool.
Wonderful. And let's talk about more what your experience is about, not just events, apart from events. How do you came up with this idea of presenting things in a digital format, which is way more sensitive as compared to when you increase the pocket size, because jewelry is something that people would like to first wear it in their hands, try it on, have the feel of the things, and then understand what they should buy, right? But you made it available digitally. So how you came up with this idea and how you came up with the name?
So I came from the family that's in the jewelry business for more than 30 years. We had more than 20 stores, and I have my own store in Milan, in Italy. And I lived this exact problem when we passed the transformation from the brick and mortar stores to digital stores, and we've seen that it doesn't convert selling online compared to offline. And then we've seen the researchers from from platforms like Shopify stating that digital content, when available with 3D or augmented reality, try-on or virtual reality, converts 3-4 times better. We tried it. We've seen that there is lack of decent tech in the market. So we tried to make our own, and we got a lot of interest from partners and some other different markets we didn't even target. And and also the name is like bling because it shines. And the AR is like augmented reality. So that was like a basic conclusion of what we do and to how to present it to the world. And so that's it, probably.
Wonderful. And what was the initial resistance to the adoption that you faced in this sector? Because uh, absolutely spending a bunch of money on something that is expensive and might be very personal to them, because ring is not something that people would buy on a daily basis, right? They would have to be some sort of occasion,
Yeah.
like a proposal or engagement or wedding, or maybe another sort of necklace, right? So that requires a lot more visibility to the actual product. So what was the initial resistance that you felt in this market?
So the biggest reason, first of all, market is ready, and COVID pushed this e-commerce boom, because right now, despite jewelry is the big market, the 100 something billion, and 110 billion is happening online, and online sales are growing way faster than offline, so it will surpass eventually. And yeah, tech adoption is also on a good level. So customers are ready. There was a problem with adoption from the businesses because jewelry is a closed market and very conservative. So at the initial stage, it was difficult to prove, despite businessmen, jewelry retailers knew this problem exists. It was hard to explain them that it's easy to overcome this.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the only barrier. But then through some education, and we showed them demo and some proof from our early adopters, it was easy to prove them, because when they see someone from the field succeeding, it's easy to convince the person to try at least.
And you tried something different as compared to other VR and AR related applications for jewelry. You tried uh, the image searches and embedded that feature as well. So, make the user more comfortable. Let's say someone has shared me a picture of, hey, this is the thing I'm looking for. How do I find it in a catalog of 5,000 different rings, right? I just upload this and with some AI features that already in the boom market, right?
Yeah.
So how you embedded that and how you came up with that idea?
Yeah. So first of all, what differentiates us from other AR VR companies, we provide a feature. We have our own Gen AI, generative AI, that converts images of jewelry, so product catalogs. We create digital twins, 3D models, and these 3D models applied for augmented reality. So other companies don't give this option, so retailers have to spend like thousands or hundreds of thousands of US dollars to actually digitize the product catalogs, and only then apply AR. And so we give this all in one package. So it's easier, and it requires like minutes or some hours if you have big catalogs, not days, not weeks, and not this big amount of money. And speaking of what you're talking about of a product catalogs and how to search, we came up with an AI sales agent that works 24/7 and that understands pictures. So, for example, you saw a picture in the Instagram or on a celebrity, you made a photo, maybe your friend or your girlfriend sent you something, and instead of like going to multiple websites, searching for and spending hours searching through the product catalogs, because there are hundreds of pages, right? You can just chat with the AI sales agent, drop a photo, an image, anything, and say, I do have something like this in your product catalog, but you can also configure it in terms of, you can say, I want something like this, but maybe in yellow gold and under $2,000. And it will find you the most relevant product, allows you to view it in 3D and configure it if it's allowed by the retailer directly in the chat. Click try on your phone, it will open a camera, you will allow it, of course, and you can try it on ring, earrings, or necklace, and you can buy directly in the chat. No need to click multiple pages, because we know people lose engagement and may never come back if they're redirected to the page of the checkout. So we help actually retailers to convert much better, much more, and we have proved conversion. One of our first clients converted 280% month to month.
Wonderful. That's a huge number to increase the engagement and the conversions for that. That was your success story. Let's talk about the drawbacks, right? So, what was the major setback when you initially entered this market of digital jewelries?
Yeah. So first of all, it was the problem of advertising, because the niche there are many like small players in the AR field that are advertising, aggressively. Despite they have crap product, they still like advertise. They spending a lot of budgets on that. So it was hard to like tell the world. So we choose different approach. We choose like generic traffic, and we went to, because of I'm a jeweler myself. I went to my partners from direct network, and we started from there. So it was set back to acquire people from external network, and also. As always, when you're training your AI, generative AI, you have some setbacks because you don't actually agree. You don't like the initial results you get. So we spend a lot of engineering times inside our team to make it better and better and better, and we're still improving. So that's those two key setbacks, and I hope we already overcome them, and for sure we'll like meet another problems on the way, and yeah, I think we are pretty well established to overcome them as well.
And since you're already way ahead in your journey for this part, what would be your advice if someone is trying to digitize some sort of a product or making it more accessible for the users to engage at the first place, and then take it toward the conversion? So what would you advise for someone who's doing that?
Yeah, first of all, don't hesitate to go this way, because we were talking to many businessmen, and they think, because they're not tech savvy people, they think it's really hard or it will cost a lot. But right now the tech is so good that you don't need to like spend like hundreds of thousands of US dollars budgets to implement this tech.
Super easy, just build an MVP very quickly, test it, and get it approved by your teammates or maybe your colleagues or friends, and then you can actually decide, okay, this is something that's gonna work, and we can take it forward, right?
Yeah, that's why we our basic subscription is really cheap. You get 10 conversions. You can digitize 10 of your best products or your worst products and share it with the world, with your clients or with your friends, and see what they say, right? And if you see that they're super excited, you might go along with it. You may even digitize even more. And plus, along the way, you'll see if your conversions are boosting. So I think it's a pretty easy to adopt it and at least give it a try. Right.
The initial ice break is very easy for you, right? One last question before we close. With your all the experience since the beginning of your career, what's the one key thing that kept you going for how you innovate new things?
Yeah. So the number one was, as I mentioned, we were building the product for ourselves. So it was the inner motivation to not your family, fail. Not let your family fail, so to help it. So it was, and then this motivation somehow transformed into a bigger vision, and this bigger vision, bigger picture keeps you going.
So it's like small wins end up being a pile of a bigger win.
Yeah, I like this. I like this thing when, in order to come to the bigger picture, bigger goal, you have to take smaller steps.
Yes, absolutely. So it's like a marathon to win, but you have to run the first mile first.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was fabulous talking to you, thank you so much for giving us the time and sharing us the insights of your experiences. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.